Hey lovers, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you. I am your host, Dee Shields. I hope you are tuning in to the podcast where we are over there on More Tea with Dee, talking about the latest relationship reality shows that are out, especially Put a Ring on It. We're also going to recap. We've been recapping Put a Ring on It Season 3, and we are also going to do a recap on Ultimatum, and they have a new episode up today on Netflix. So quite a few different shows that have some real life relationship things going on that I have been over there discussing. And when I come over here on the I Am Dee Shields podcast, I have a point that I need to make. And I think that this one is one where I just feel like there is a paradigm shift. And in this paradigm shift, it is so important that people grasp what is going on. And I just hate to see so many people that may get left behind, so to speak, as the universe is taking things in a whole different direction. And a lot of times people are so caught up in ego that they really don't realize that what you see happening has nothing to do with anything that you are doing. The universe is moving things in the direction that it is going to go. Now, you do have the free will to make the right decisions while this process is happening, but you don't control, especially someone else's destiny. And I see so many people thinking that, if I do this, or if I push this button, or if I do that, then that's going to happen. How you see different people and they try to get revenge on other people, and they go and they really think that something that they're capable of can take somebody else's life in another direction. Some people even have the audacity to either attempt to take or actually take somebody's life. And they think they have something to do with that as well. And so we're going to have a whole big discussion on why that's a lie. Hashtag that's a lie. We're going to have a whole discussion on that because I see so many people lost. And I'm telling you, there was a time when I was lost and I thought that I had control of that as well. But life had to teach me this thing that I'm going to share with you. And once you understand it, you are going to begin to see it a different way. And you may only just hear the words right now, but you are going to be able to understand it in a whole different way when I break down this simple thing that if you begin to view it that way, you will stop being that person that's always trying to take revenge out on others. You will stop being that petty bitch. Like, you are going to learn that none of your unnecessary negative energy is going to do anything to anyone else's life other than it may impact it for a minute. It may make that person's life challenging for a minute, but you can't put anything on anybody else. You're not that type of beat. You're not that bad. I know you think you are, and I know you think that if I do this and I do this, it's going to make that happen to that person and that person. I need you to pipe down because that's not how this thing works. So as this paradigm shift happens and a lot of people begin to wake up and begin to realize this very simple concept that I'm going to lay out for you all, much is going to happen in the next season. So we're going to talk about that, but of course I need to make sure that I share with my listeners. Make sure you're following me on socials. And I really cannot say enough that I am just grateful for manifesting 2022 and where I wanted the podcast to go. And in doing that manifestation in 2021, I have seen my podcast downloads grow like no other time before. And even though I did get to higher downloads on Blog Talk Radio, it was just in a different season when I was doing different things. And now just the direction that I'm going now, I just see the downloads increasing and I see the support. And even though people like to be silent supporters, it don't matter because the downloads do not lie, right? And so because the downloads are happening, somebody's listening. And whoever that somebody is, if that's you, I really like to credit wisdom for being able to take me over the seas, and for those people who are willing to just hear you out and accept that you have something to say and accept that you've been called to do what you're doing, and they just kind of invite you into their homes and they listen and they feedback, and we just have a really good time, and we're all connecting from, all over the globe, and this is nothing like the Wisdom app. So Android users, if you are not on the Wisdom app, I do highly encourage that you go. I am a top mentor over there on the app, and you'll find me the same across all these socials. I am Dee Shields. I am DEESHIELDS. So let's get a little music in our life, and then we're going to come back. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about some of the things that I was talking to you about before.
It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Now I'm not the problem.
Okay, that was the universe talking to you right there. Did you hear that? It's not my fault. And now you're trying to blame me for the way that things are going, and it's not my fault because you're trying to go against me, and I'm telling you that I'm in control. I'm not saying this, not D. I'm telling you that the universe is telling you that the universe is in control. I also am going to say something to you right now. If you don't have something that you believe in, whatever your religion is, whatever your belief process is, grab it. We are in some times when you need to believe in something. Do you understand me? When people can go around and have disregard for human life, when people can go around and have disregard for where other people are and always trying to sabotage or take away people or take things away or take jobs away, when people are just nasty and don't care about the things that they're supposed to be responsible with, come on. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not the fault of the universe and that there is no favor for you. I heard a girl say today that everything always goes bad for me, and because things go bad for me, I don't care what happens to others. Right? Okay, I just need everybody to just take a whole hot minute and just hear that statement. That is the highest level of bitter that can happen to an individual, right? But listen to me. I feel that there is something that was said to me once, and I've listened to a lot of different great leaders. I'm talking about in person, attend these events, to hear these leaders in person say some powerful things. And one of the first leaders that I'll start with, because what she said was so powerful for what happens after, right? One of the first leaders, Joyce Meyer, some of you are familiar with her. She's a preacher, right? And Joyce Meyer once said, I turned the channel and it stopped. And I'm listening to her, and she said, sometimes you're going to say something. You're going to hear something. And I'm not going to say first. I'm going to say, you're going to hear something, she said. And in the moment that you hear it, you may not even receive it, but it's for you. She said it's for you, and you may not receive it in that moment. But when that time comes, when the universe says, boom, and it's going to come to you as if the person just said it, and you're going to hear it, and you're going to hear it crystal clear. And you're going to know that this is my season for me to hear what was being said. It's always going to come a time, because she said we are never at any time there's never a mistake at any time. When we hear something, it was meant for that to be in our earshot. Paraphrase. Okay? So I say that to say, let's talk about some things that I've learned from leaders. Not thinking about them as a person and what you think of them, because you guys are so opinionated nowadays. It's not about what you think about. You decide about something that you hear about somebody, and you think that, it covers everything. It doesn't matter what you think about people. It's what they say, that word was for you, because the universe made sure that you were right there so that you could hear it. So there's a leader, Creflo Dollar, and he's a preacher as well. And he said, do you know what God's biggest miracle is? So we sat in that audience in Houston, Texas, and we were like, just kind of talking amongst ourselves. And, people were saying, to heal a person that, sitting in a wheelchair and they begin to walk, or a person has a disease and they begin to get better. He said, no, not any of those things. One of God's biggest miracles is for someone to change their mind. You have the power right now, petty peeps. I'm talking to the petty peeps right now, the bitter peeps. You have the power right now to change your mind, to change your mindset, to change how you think, to change how you behave, to change how you do, to change how you treat people. You have that power right now. And that is going to be one of the biggest miracles that the universe can put upon you. Some of the times you miss that moment. Speaking from experience, not trying to slap the church. I'm speaking from experience, right? Sometimes you're going to literally miss that moment. But then when that time comes, right? You're going to know. You're going to know. I don't know. I can't tell you when. I can't tell you how it's going to happen. None of that. I just know that you're going to know when it was that moment. And your mind is going to begin to change about the way that you do things. You are operating in selfish, and that's not how life works. And for as long as you operate in selfish, those things that you are bitter about are going to continue to be that way until you allow your mind to think differently. Be willing to change. Be willing to do different. You are in your way. The universe is not putting this horrible life on you. You are in the way. You have the free will to get out of your own way. It's a gift. It was given to you at birth. You have the free will to get out of your own way so that things can begin to get better. Not just for you, for the people around you, for the people in your environment. You do better. That's how things are going to get better. Lead by example, right? And then another leader said, again, it was in Houston, Texas. Hey, H-Town, are you trying to call my name? Again, in Houston, Texas, I went to hear another leader say, Oprah. She talked about how the beginning of life is like a ball of yarn. You know, that big old ball of yarn, and the thread on the yarn is like going all these different directions. I'll never forget how she described that. And it's going all these different directions, and you take the ball and you I guess I would say you have it in one hand, and you get to keep that ball in one hand. I'm going to describe it a little differently. And the ball is over here, and you hold on to the tip of that first little piece of that string that you begin to pull, right? As you pull it, it's going to go in all different directions. But every direction that it goes, it was meant to be. It's the path that the universe wanted you to be on for what's going to happen next. You are not in control of the way that things are going to go. My father, another great leader, used to say, how life is going to go for you was decided way before you were born. Believe it or don't. I choose to believe it. It was decided way before you were born. The moment that you're here, the moment that you live, the heartbreak, the love, the great times, the bad times, the challenging. I don't like to say bad because I believe to say challenging. The challenging times. All of it planned before you even came into this earth. Nothing that's happening right now or in the next moment is in your control because it was already planned out that this is the direction that you're going to go. So here's a great movie. It's an oldie, and I don't know what streaming platform may have it, but you need to find it. It's called The Adjustment Bureau. Another one that the people like, a documentary that people like to watch and we watch in college is called The Secret. I think The Secret has a part 2 out now. But you really need to, if you're a movie watcher and you kind of want that drama and all that, watch The Adjustment Bureau. The first time you watch it, you might get it. But most people have to watch it 2 or 3 times to get it. When you get to that second and third time, you're going to understand it. And it is literally what I'm trying to tell you right now. It's literally the message that the universe wants whoever is listening to me right now to hear. This is what you need to hear. It's exactly how it works. And you're going to keep trying to go this direction. And the universe is like, get your speck over here. Because this is the direction that you're going. And you're going to keep on trying. And things are going to keep going wrong. Wherever the chaos is where you're at. It's not supposed to be. How many times does the universe have to tell that to me? Wherever the chaos is, you're not supposed to be there. You could think that you're supposed to be back in a certain place because people try to put that guilt trip on you, family, and you're supposed to be back, and we grew up together, and this is people could try to put that on you all day. But the universe says, I got your ass in Colorado. I have you up in these Rocky Mountains for a reason, and this is where you shall be, because maybe there are people here that you're going to run into, that they're going to give you something, you're going to give them something, not physical, not gifts, not money, just like something about what they're going through or what you're going through. It was meant to be. Those paths were supposed to cross. Right? So going with the flow of the moment. Tomorrow you have no idea what shall be. I have another great friend of mine in Austin, Texas, Jahari, and he used to say, stay in the moment. Stay in today. I didn't always understand it. But the more challenges that I went through and the more things that I went through, stay in the moment. Today. Worry not about tomorrow. Focus on today, because tomorrow will take care of itself. And all those other things, great things that you've heard people say. Ego is why you think it's about you. Ego is why you think you can control what happens next. Yes, you have the free will to make sure that you're making the right, responsible decisions to do the things that need to be done. You do have that. That's a gift that was given to you. But at the same time, pull back. Back and give the universe 50 feet. Because the universe is in control. God's in control. The higher power is in control. Whatever your belief set is, and I sure hope that you have one. The way that our world is going right now, you better have one. Tomorrow, you have no control of. But right now, in this moment, you can make a decision that is a better one. You could do better. You could be better. You could talk better. You could say better. You could encourage better. You can be told something. You're not always right. I have so many mentors because I understand that the way that I may not get it. I have this little service that it's a free service and probably in Colorado, but probably in different places. But I used to one in Colorado, and I just text talk. And when I text talk, I say, here, this is what I'm going through. And the person comes back, blah, 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 blah. And I just listen. And then I talk and say this, and they come back and say da, 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 da. And then I sit for a week or two with that food for thought on what was given to me. You can't use everything that was given to you, but you can set some things aside. And if you're not able to, you can't hear anybody, you're always right. You can't be told anything. Your problem is EGO. Ego. Deepak Chopra, one of the greatest leaders that I love to listen to all the time. He said in Houston, Texas, come on, H-Town. Who's calling my name for that $100,000 a year income? and more. H-Town. So listen, Deepak Chopra said on the stage in Houston, he said, ego, edging God out. I don't know. You don't want to believe in God? You little atheist? Ego, edging gift out. Edging good out. I could just go on and on and on, right? Edging grace out. Ego. That's what the ego does. Food for thought. This is necessary food for thought in the times that we are in, right? All right, I'm going to come back and close, but I want you to hear that a little bit more.
Man, that's on you, yeah. You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me, but baby, it's you. Lie like a ride, but take your stuff back, baby, it's you. And I would never. Yeah. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
I hope you understand where I'm coming from at this point, right? Now, tell your friend to tell another friend. Don't just keep it to yourself. Share the podcast. I know some of you... Let me tell you something that some of you do. You can hear it and you won't share it. You know why you don't want to share it? Some of you think that you have control of where this is going to go, and you don't. The universe is in control. I get the new listeners that I get because it was meant to be, because that's what the universe said that it shall be. You're not going to stop my listeners from happening by sharing. You're so scared of somebody going to the next level. Maybe because you want to do the same thing, or maybe because you're in some kind of competition that I'm not in with you. I said maybe it's because you want to do the same thing, or maybe it's because you're in some kind of competition that I am not in with you. Share it. Nothing I said today was for you. Share it. It may be for someone else. The universe is going to make sure it gets to who's supposed to hear it anyway. My downloads are the proof of that. Right? Share it. That's it. And I hope that you got something from it. Right? Rewind it. Thank you to all those who tune in wherever you listen to your podcast at. I am your host, Dee Shields. You can find me over on the More Tea with Dee podcast. You can also listen to hashtag Lyrics Breakdown. You can come right back over here, hashtag iamdeeshields. However you want to listen, whatever you care to listen to, whatever you're interested in, there's a little something for everybody. And if not, tell your friend, to tell another friend to tune in to the podcast, because maybe it's for them, right? That's it. Take a little lesson on some of the things that I said, and I think that's a little bit of all that I have for today. I just know that I needed to come and get the podcast here because I've been over there on More Tea with Dee, putting in that work. Shout out to those who have been encouraging me and manifesting those things along with me, believing in me, supporting, clicking like, sharing, following, all those great things that make these things grow, right? All right, you guys, I am out. It is Wednesday. I am over. Barack Obama has a new national park going over on being narrated by Barack Obama over on Netflix. So I know that I'm going to try to fit that into my evening. And then, of course, I'm going to get a little ultimatum in because that show is getting really good. So much food for thought for those who are into relationship talk. Follow me on socials. I am Dee Shields. You can find me the same on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you listen to your podcast. You can find me on Facebook using the hashtag. It's about all I'll give you on that. I don't accept all friend requests on Facebook because I'm open and public on the other platforms. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I am on a host of other platforms. So I am Dee Shields. Find me that way. And I think that's really all that I have for you all today. I think that's the close. I heard the calling. I clicked play and just did my thing, right? So hopefully you'll do the same thing and share, right? I appreciate you on that.
Stuck in the past watching videos of us. I have been trying to get rid of your stuff, but voices in my head are telling me to stop. It's all I have left, all I have of you. Thought I was more than a body to hold, baby. I wanted you, wanted us to be something more. I was so sure, but let my guard down for you. Baby, why'd you have to love me like that? I gave you my heart and you tore it apart. Don't know why you had to hurt me like that. Cause now I'm messed up, drinking non-stop, just trying to forget you and everything we said. But I can't seem to get these thoughts out of my head. Baby, why'd you have to love me like that? Love me like that. Oh, staying inside in my bed all day long, listening to sad songs and feeling so low, thinking about you and where we went wrong. Cause I wanna know why you let me go. Thought I was more than a body to hold, baby. I wanted you, wanted us to be something more. I was so sure, but let my guard down for you. Baby, why'd you have to love me like that? I gave you my heart and you tore it apart. Don't know why you had to hurt me like that.